G'day people, I'm Monster Dad and welcome to this brand new Let's Play. Really excited about this one. Brand new Let's Play on the Shattered Realm server put together by Spanj and a few other people. Do apologise, I will list the people who put the server together in the description below to let everybody, make sure everyone gets the credit they are due because they've done an amazing job. So where am I? Currently I am on the starter planet Golan Prime, which is the starter planet for the Golan Consortium faction, which is a PvE faction. So a quick brief rundown of what the Shattered Realm is about is there are 4 main factions, 2 PvE factions, 2 PvP factions. I joined the Golan Consortium, and the reason I joined them is because they are kind of like the history behind them and the lore behind them. They're kind of like they were the peacekeepers of the system. They were the high-tech people. They liked shiny new tech and gadgets, and that's how they built as well. And that kind of attracts me to the way I want to build in this series and the way I want to build vehicles and bases. So yeah, that's what I did, and we started on this planet. What we have is around about 7 days to be able to get our stuff together, leave the planet, leave the system, the planetary system, to the next planetary system, which is this one over here, Albanel. This one over here, Parthix, is the other starter planet for the other PvE faction, which is the Brotherhood of Far. So I'm not going to be going over to there because I would just need to get straight off it anyway. So I'm going to head to Albanel. Now, I have to thank Spanj for this with a recent change. Albanel was, when I started the game a few days ago, 14.3 or 14.7 AU away. So I could do this jump with an SV. But over the past day or so, when I haven't been on the server, Spanj has decided to increase this to over 16 AU. And we now need a CV to get off the starter planet. So thanks very much for that, Spanj. Gives me something to do in this episode, I guess. But yeah, so I thought I was going to start this episode and immediately leave the system to Albanel after showing you around the starter system first. However, that plan has been completely and utterly scuppered because I now need a CV. As you can see, there are a ton of resource deposits on this planet. Not so much with the Promethium, but yeah, with the others. And there's a reason for that. It's because, you know, there are quite a lot of people will start on this planet and they need enough resources to go around. And even then, people have struggled with the amount of resources there are to get things done. And they'll need even more now. They have to build a CV. So what I did initially is this place here, Galaxian City, is where we spawn in for the Golan Consortium. And I'll show you Galaxian City in a little while. An incredibly impressive build. This wasn't built by the guys that put the server together. This was built by another group of people and is on the workshop. But it's a showcase of what can be done with building in Empyrion. That's all I can say, and I'll show you that in a little while. Just take that off. I don't need that on there. This R&D base that I'm at the moment, when I first joined, I got a bit of help from one of my subscribers, Badger. He was part of the R&D sub-faction in the Golan Consortium. So I joined them and helped them get some stuff together, get a little base started. This platform here is what was done to spawn in or build, I should say, not spawn in, built CV from scratch. And they took all their vehicles with them. They've already left the system and I've left the R&D faction now. So I'm pretty much on my own now within the Golan Consortium. And that's how I'm going to stay for the moment. I was considering completely leaving the Golan Consortium as well and going rogue. But for the moment, I think what I'm going to do until I get a feel for the multiplayer server and how things are working, I'm going to stay within the main faction of the Golan Consortium, but I'm going to create my own little faction called Dad when I learn how to do that. But what I'll do first is, before I start building an incredibly basic CV, which will basically be a cockpit, a couple of engines, a warp drive and somewhere to park the Mantis on it, and that's all it's going to be, just to get me off the planet. and get me out of the system. In fact, I'll probably build it in space. That way I can put even less engines on it, and I don't need to worry about trying to get off the gravity, because it's quite high gravity on this planet. So without further ado, I can't get into any of these buildings now or access this drill ship here, because I've left the R&D faction and this all still belongs to them. So let's pop that on. I'm going to pop my food into the fridge. I kept my food on me because when I leave the server, my food kind of suspends its deterioration. If I leave it in the fridge, I would have to leave the power on my ship permanently, because time still ticks over when I'm not on the server. So but for now, while we got power on the Mantis, I'll just stick it in the fridge and I'll grab it back into my inventory when I leave the server again. So yeah, so this is where we made our initial base, which is just by Galaxian City, which I'll show you now. Now, this will probably cause some lag because it is an enormous build. In fact, I'll turn off all of that so you can have a proper look at it. It's probably good to start off looking at this at night. Actually, it's quite impressive. This really is a showcase of what can be done with an Empyrion build. As I said, an incredible place. I can't imagine how long it took the people that built it to actually finish this. There's tons of different districts. There's so much detail. Every room I went into, and I went into a lot of them to loot, is detailed and highly detailed, decorated. It's just an incredible build. It really is. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. So I'll park in a minute and then we'll have a quick look around, because I do want to do some looting as well, because you know, the R&D were kind enough to allow me to take some of the resources with me, but I could probably still do with more, particularly now I have to get a CV. Now there is like a cargo area that is just teeming. Oh, there it is, teeming with cargo boxes, which I'll go through and loot at some point, but I won't do that on camera. What I'll do is I'll park and I'll loot this stuff off camera, and then just we'll cut that bit out, because I'm sure you don't want to see me spend 20 minutes looting stuff. Yeah, these are all cargo boxes and they all have loot in them. Certainly did last time I went through them. And the loot in this place resets about every 3 hours, I think it is, so that when new players do join, they don't have to wait too long to find stuff. And quite frankly, there's so much stuff in this place, it's just amazing. There's a hospital over there. There's a police headquarters over here as well somewhere. And there's also a trade district, which is, I think it's this bit over here, and I'll probably just pay a visit to that before we leave as well, because I do want to use the constructors there just to turn some ores into ingots. Because what I'm probably going to do is nip into my creative game and design a quick down and dirty CV, as basic as I can possibly get it. I can see a couple of people's ships still around. The Nightshade. That's one of Spanj's builds, isn't it? Appropriate, I guess. Yeah, so I'll either just quickly do something in creative that I can then throw stuff into the factory to spawn in to get me out of the system, or I might just go up to space and just build something with what I have. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go yet. I do have a bit of loot from a couple of POIs, well, one POI I found on the planet that hadn't been taken apart, so I looted that. So I've got stuff that I could do just thrown into the factory anyway that will help. So yeah, so this Let's Play, the plan is to approach it very much like a single player game rather than a multiplayer game. So a single player Let's Play. The reason I want to do it on this server is it looks like it's going to be a really fun place to play a game of Empyrion, but also it means that I can access more than just NPCs, because they're a bit boring. There's not much you can do with them. Like I said in my outro video, my last Let's Play, you can either kill them or trade with them, and that's about it. But with a world also populated with real people, with real agendas, real goals, we can do some proper trading as well. A bit of collaboration every now and then, some co-op, maybe dabble in a bit of PvP later on down the line if I'm brave enough. But yeah, this is incredible, this place, it really is. I am in awe of the build. Okay, well, I'm going to cut there for a bit whilst I loot those containers, and then I'll find somewhere to park, probably near the trade centre, and I'll show you a little bit of the city from the ground, because it's even more impressive from the ground, I have to say. So I will get back to you in a short while. Later. Okay, welcome back. Unfortunately, somebody had just beat me to it with all those cargo boxes and looted them all. But I did go into my creative game and built the ugliest CV ever. It is an incredibly basic CV. It's so expensive on Neo though, that's the thing, but I had enough with all the mining I'd done. I'd mined loads of Neo meteorites on the moon a few days ago, so I had enough of that. So yeah, I'm going to spawn that in and then get off whenever we need to get off. So it's ready to go. So I guess what we could do is have a little look around here. This is a cool bit for this city. This little entrance here. All these hangars open. There's a police department here. So if you get into this city, if you do start here, try and find the police department, because it does have a lot of armor. I found lots of weapons in there as well. Let me turn off the non-essentials. Whee! Can I get in? Oh yeah, it's this way. Hopefully I'll be able to find my way back. It's like a maze, this city. It's just so big. You do need to be on the lookout for traps, I have to say, because the builders did put some traps into this. So keep your multi-tool at hand and just double check that you're not going to fall down. And I did, and ended up in a maze underneath the city, and it was a real pain to get out of again. So how do we get into the actual building from here? I've never come in this way before, so let's have a look over here. It's all in, I think it's French as well, the majority of the writing in the city. So if you can speak French, you're in like Flynn. So where are we? Oh, this hasn't been looted. Oh, grab that, some ratatouille. Oh, there's a constructor there. I was just looking for a constructor as well to craft up my Neo blocks. I mean, there is a ton of loot in this city. I mean, even if somebody comes through and loots, you'll still find a load of stuff. I guarantee, if you spend a little bit of time looking around. And then if you wait a couple of hours, it will all respawn anyway. There's some things you can't access. All these locker type, these wardrobe types, you'll be able to access. That's where I just came from, wasn't it? So what's up here then? There's an armor locker. Can't get into these ones. They're all set for other factions. Yep. Armor lockers. Oh, O2. Oh, I'm already full. What a shame. What else got in here? More armor lockers. Another wardrobe. Let's see what's in that one. Oh, tier 2 drill. Always useful to have an extra one of those, I can tell you. What's up here then? I don't think I've been in this part of this police headquarters before. But as I was saying, as you can see, I mean, every inch of this place has been detailed, decorated. It's quite an incredible build. I could spend a whole episode looking around, but I mean, I think it's on the workshop. If you did want to look at it, if your computer can handle it, bringing it in, then, you know, spawn it in and have a good look around it. It's quite an amazing place. So where did we park? We were this way, weren't we? Whee! Was it here? Yeah, there we go. Nailed it. Nailed it. Let's pop that ratatouille in the fridge. I don't have an abundance of food, but I'm hoping I'll be able to rectify that at the next planet. Okay, I've got pentaxid. There's tons of pentaxid on the moon here. I don't want to do that. I'm going to press that. No, I don't. I want to switch the engines on. That's what I do. Switch the thrusters on, you dope. And get the heck out of Dodge. Whee! I hope I've got enough fuel to fuel this CV. I mean, I should have. I'm going to go and get it spawned now, and then we'll get up to space, because one place I do want to visit before I leave is the derelict ship, and that's that big derelict old mining ship that you get in the vanilla games and in the single player games. Because if that hasn't been looted recently, because that's another one that regens every 3 hours or so. Now you can take the core out of it, but you can't put your own core in because it's a regen ship. So let's just land this. Turn the thrusters off. And go to F2, go to the ugliest CV ever, and go boom. And you'll see what I mean. I am not kidding. This is probably the quickest, down and dirtiest CV you could ever put together. Not even a cockpit, it's just an open cockpit. But I've got an EVA boost and I have oxygen bottles, so we should be good to go on that. What I'm hoping is that I can just park the Mantis on the top of it and it will still fly. Because this planet has above 1G gravity. So let's just pop those back on again and see if we can park this. Come on, connect. There we go. Thought I was going to have a problem with the connecting then. Okay, I'm going to have to leave the power on because I've got food in the fridge. Now, let's see if we can power this bad boy and get off this planet. See if it'll work. Should have enough thrust. I'm going to take this apart when I'm done. Got no intention of keeping this. We've got power on. I don't have any lights or turrets or anything like that. Let's see if it works. Oh, look at that. It only works. Let's get up into space so I can use less fuel. Look, can't even see the cockpit seat. Oh, you can now. Do you know what? It would be a really good idea to put my helmet on, wouldn't it? Let's look from first person view. Yeah, I feel vulnerable, I have to say. Okay. Right, so what have we got up here? There is a Promethean asteroid marked as well. Do I need to get more Promethean? I'm not sure. There's an orbital spy. I'm going to give that a miss. Derelict ship. That's where I want to go and check that out. So, where are you? Around the other side of the planet. Isn't that typical? Let's go that way. Wow, it gets up to 90 meters per second. I didn't expect that. I should have just kept one thrust in each direction, shouldn't I? I probably would have still needed 2 up thrusts so I could get off the planet okay, but yeah, I probably wasted some Neo there, didn't I? Oh well, I can always chuck them in the factory when I make another CV or reuse them. Derelict ship right around the other side of the planet. Would you believe it? Okay, I'll cut there and I'll be back to you when I get there. Later. Welcome back. Well, we're just about there. I'll talk to you a little bit more about the Shattered Realm itself and the kind of backstory to it. So we've got 2 PvE factions, 2 PvP factions. The PvE factions basically remain around the inner rim, and the outer rim is where the PvP factions hang out. Now, the only way to get to and from are a couple of warp lanes that will go via a trade station for one, and my understanding is the other one is called the Void, where the server admins hang out. So you can get to and from the different space that way, but for all intents and purposes the PvE is separated from the PvP, but we can congregate together in communal areas for trade, etc., which I think is a really good idea. Main currency will be gold ingots when we do trade. Stop that there and get into position. And there's a big backstory behind the Shattered Realm and why it's like this, the way it is, with the 4 factions. In the background is a constant Xerax threat. So the end game for the PvE factions is to find the Xerax homeworld and go in there and just attack it every now and then. And apparently it's pretty hostile. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So that's going to be one of my goals, is to do that. So we're in the right way round. So yeah, but I will leave a link to one of Spanj's videos in which he gives a very good explanation of the 4 factions and the way the Shattered Realm works. So rather than me try and repeat what Spanj has already done, I'll leave a link to his video. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and have a look at that. It's very interesting and you should enjoy it. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm hoping that this is available for looting. Now, if you didn't know, you can hit the core for the derelict ship from outside, and if I remember rightly, it is just below one of these blocks here. So let me just dig a couple of... I think you have to go down about 2 layers and you can kill the core. But like I said, this is a regenerative ship, so we're not allowed to put our own core in it. So I won't be able to take whole blocks out of this, but what I am interested in is the loot itself. Let me put my light on. Because that's going to really help me going forward. Let's get rid of that one. So it doesn't look like someone's looted this, otherwise there will probably be a big hole here. I've gone in the wrong bit. No, I'm sure it's just here. I guess we'll know when the power goes off. Come on, where are you, core? Oh, do you know what? I think it's near that purple. Or is it pink container? There it is. Boom. Core done. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I want to loot this. So let's just... Don't really need thrusters and lights on here. Don't need to be wasting fuel. I do want to top up my O2 before I go in there. There we go. And really I should turn off the power on the ugliest CV ever. Save a bit of fuel. Boom. Okay, now there's probably going to be a couple of spawns happened in here. So I'm just going to pop the drone in there just to be sure. I'm just going to do this first room and then I'm going to loot it off camera and get back to you when I'm done. Yeah, we've got a few little nasties. I don't think any of them can spit, so I should be fairly good to go on that one. Let's use the shotgun. Don't use the shotgun much as I should. He disappeared. That's weird. Well, that's weird. Okay, I've never seen that happen before. Okay, well, I need to loot this before it regenerates. Otherwise, I'll be stuck in here, unable to get out, and things will be spawning. But this is the main reason I want to loot this place, is because it is going to have stuff. I mean, I can still take the blocks apart. Ooh, 20 iron, nice. You know, for steel plate and hardened steel plate, etc. And I'll probably do a bit of that. Ooh, sprouts. Okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to go through and loot this, and I'll get back to you shortly. Later. Welcome back. Okay, so what did I do that? Yeah, pretty much looted that place. I'm not going to take all the blocks apart. It would be useful to do so, but simply do not have the time to do it. So might as well get out of here. Fridge is full. Well, fullish. My loot boxes are full. Okay, certainly do not need thrusters on that. I'm kind of nervous about leaving the system. To tell you the truth, I will not lie. It's a snow moon, this one. It looks really cool. Because I just don't know what to expect at the next place. I have no idea. It's very unlike any game I've ever started before. Usually come down in the escape pod and you start from scratch and you build up all your resources, so on, so on, so on. This one was similar with initial start, but we spawned in that city. But after that, it's been completely different. So I'm kind of starting this Let's Play with an SV, with equipment, but in a completely unknown map, filled with real people as well, with POIs and resources and stuff that, you know, has been created by people, creators and builders, and you know, I'm quite nervous, to tell you the truth, and excited. So let's do this. Let's get to Albinel, which is really the only place we can go to. Like I said, the other one there, Parthix, is another starter planet. I don't know where that one leads to, but since we've started here, the majority of the people in the Golan Consortium, albeit not in the same subfaction as me, have headed this way. So at least there will be some friendly faces, I guess, this way more than anything. So I'm not going to necessarily get blatted out of the sky straight away, but I could do. For all I know, could be enemy drones galore as soon as I enter this space. But so let's find out. Engage. So I can't go back to that starter planet now. Once you warp away from a starter planet, you're unable to get back there. And that's how the playfield has been designed. So let's stop our engines and just have a little look around and see what this place has to offer. So we're in Albinel. Albinel orbit, iron and cobalt. Okay. Albanel itself is breathable, which is nice. Radiation's quite high. Won't run around in light armor. Gravity 1.25. Wow. Atmospheric density 2.4. Well, our guns will shoot not very far at all. Especially that gravity as well. So what do we got? Neo, magnesium, and gold. So the way this has been set up, as far as I'm aware, most of the resources, the resource deposits, are in PvP space. The PvE space is not abundant in resources, but it should be abundant in gold. And then what we can do is we can trade with PvP factions for resources, premium blueprints, and so on and so such, which I think adds a little bit of a challenge to it. So we got Neo and Magnesium pretty much. What about on the moon? Cobalt, Promethium, Pentaxid. Okay, so we've got Promethium, we've got plenty of fuel, but we don't have much in the way of basic resources. So we've got iron and cobalt. So silicon, yeah, so silicon and copper is really, really scarce for us. So where can we go from here? Sigma Epsilon 7. So what's that? We don't know till we get there. Svarog. I'm really tempted just to peek at these two places. How much fuel is that going to cost me if I do that? Round trips, we're looking at 40, 80, and I would need at least 90 to do a round trip to both of them and back. How much fuel do I have? I guess is the question. I don't have it in here. It's on the other ship. I think I've got about 3 in the tank. 2 AU in the tank. Okay. And I think I have about 60 on board the Mantis. I have no idea which container I put it in. But I think I do have a few crystals left in... Oh, do you know what? I'm sure I looted about 59 crystals in one of the rare containers on there a moment ago. So I've got 60 there. I'm going to need at least 90 for a round trip to both. Maybe I'll put them straight into my constructor. No, I didn't. Yeah, 59. Okay. So I have tons of pentaxid to actually do that. Albeit I need to produce the fuel. So let's turn that on. Let's produce a little bit of pentaxid fuel. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a peek. This may be a really bad idea. I might go into this and be immediately blatted. I'm not sure. But I think it would be really, really useful. Let's just fill that. To see what these other two planets offer. Mini Pad 1. What on earth is that? I know the faction that the sub-faction I was in, R&D, I know their plan is to set up a kind of communal orbital base here to help people that are coming through, which is very good of them, I think. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to one of these two planets, and let's go to this one first, because I want to see what resources they've got. That's the main thing. So I'm just basically going to pop my head in, hopefully not get it shot off, and leave again. I'm nervous about this. Sorry if this is going to be a little bit of a longer episode, but I do... What I want to do is just get past that, leaving the starter planet, and decide where I'm going to set up my next kind of semi-permanent base. So Svarog orbit, we've got iron, copper. So still no silicon. And we've got Erestromethathium on the planet, but no moon. There's another planet over there as well. I don't really have the fuel to go there. Now I'm assuming these planets will eventually join up with the planet that Parthix will join to. Okay, so let's, and it was a asteroid belt, wasn't it? Yeah, which makes it easy to find asteroids, I think anyway. Okay, let's head back and then go to the other one. Let's lock that target in, turn around and skedaddle. I just need to pop to the Mantis and grab some fuel if it's ready. Should be enough, shouldn't it? Okay, good. That's more than enough to get there and back. So let's see what Sigma Epsilon 7 sounds grand. Sounds really grand. See what that has to offer. Engage. I'm aware that I'm probably giving spoilers to other players that maybe at Albinon haven't travelled beyond that. Unfortunately, that's, I guess, unavoidable if you're doing a recording. So I apologise to those players if some of them do watch this and I give something away that they didn't want to know. Okay, so Sigma Epsilon 7 orbit. So we've got copper, promethium, magnesium. Okay. I still haven't seen silicon on either of these three planets. That's an issue. That is a real issue. Icult, Zascosium. Okay. But no moon again. Okay, so there is no silicon on any of these three planets. That could be a real problem. Well, it is going to be a real problem, because without silicon you can't really progress very far, can you? I'll need to decide what to do, I think. I mean, there are planets beyond these. It may be worth setting up a base on one of these ones that are sort of halfway between. So this one has the one I'm on at the moment. That's this one. Yeah, in orbit we have copper, and there's iron on the planet, and cobalt. And on this planet Albinon we had neo, magnesium. And on the moon there was promethium pentaxide. And this one, Erestromethathium, iron, copper, gold. So I'm thinking that this planet here, Sigma Epsilon 7, could be the place, depending on what this Proxima Roma 3 offers. If that offers silicon, then this is going to be the place to set up base. How far is that? 18 AU. How much warp fuel do I have? I've got enough to get there and back. I'm going to have a look, and this is going to be the final thing I do with this episode. If this planet here offers silicon, then I'm going to set up on the system I'm in at the moment, the system I just left, because that's a good point between the areas to get the resources I need. Now, one thing I didn't check is whether these are all PvE. Yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah, okay. So we've got iron and pentaxide in the asteroids, copper to the asteroids. So there's no... So silicon is nowhere to be found on any of these, and it looks like I'm making a kind of hexagon shape. I don't think I've got enough fuel to go all the way around these. What am I in? Proxima Roma 3. Although there's a Pentastic asteroid here somewhere. So what I might do first thing before anything else is mine that Pentastic asteroid. Give me the fuel to scout out all of the planets surrounding around the inner system, this inner ring, and then decide where I'm going to set up. I think that's got to be the thing. I'm definitely going to be giving spoilers away to some people if I do this, and I do apologise for that. But I think it's the sensible thing to do, because I'm missing silicon completely, and silicon is one of those basic things you just need for almost everything. And yeah, I still need to find the spot that connects to the trade area as well. Okay, that's the plan. I should have enough O2. I think what I might do is go down to that planet. I see some water there. I might go down to that planet and pop some water generators down. Although I have water, so I should be good for O2 as well, because the Mantis has an O2 system on board where I can top up my O2, so I should be good. Okay, I've got a plan. I have a plan. I have a cunning plan, my lord. Okay, well, I'm going to call an episode there in the ugliest CV ever. Thank you for watching. I know it wasn't the most exciting episode, but from this point onwards, it will become like more of a traditional Let's Play as we set ourselves up, scout out the rest of the system around here, and decide how we're going to continue from there. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Well, thanks for watching. I'm Monstad, and I will see you later. Bye.